Joining us now is Alex Linebrink, the CEO of Passage, a cutting-edge new event ticketing company based in Detroit. Alex, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Tyler. I really appreciate it and honored to be a guest. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Passage. For those that aren't familiar with the ticketing company, can you explain how it works and how it works differently than other ticketing agencies?
Certainly. So Passage is a platform that works with small to medium-sized events all around, and we help them power tickets, merchandise, concessions, and other sales, both online and at the door for their events. So an event organizer could go and they can sign up online and they can start selling tickets in a matter of minutes and reaching more fans and generating more revenue as a result. And how it's different, that's a great question, and really kind of why we're in this business. I actually got into this business back in 2014 because I was a haunted house nerd, believe it or not. And I saw that haunted houses just weren't really fulfilled by the event ticketing platforms that were out there. They needed repeat times, they needed bundles of multiple attractions together. So we built a platform that could service those specialty event categories and help them with features that they needed. So to this day, one of our brands is still for haunted houses. It's called HauntPay, and we're the largest provider of haunted house ticketing in America. But we also have brands for food and drink festivals and semi-pro soccer with special features and other things, all sorts of different event categories too, with all these special features that help them run their events more effectively and reach more fans in those event segments.
On the fan side of things, how does this help to benefit those that are purchasing tickets for these events and make the process easier for them to obtain the tickets, but also to find what they're looking for within some of these events that, like you said, have so many different activities and different things to participate in?
Oh, heck yeah. I think it helps fans a ton because you can actually go and you can search in your local area. You can search by categories. So one thing that we have that a lot of different event ticketing platforms out there don't have are these very specific tags. So you can find an event that it has, is handicap accessible and it's, got food and beer involved and that sort of thing. It's searched by those tags over at gopassage.com. Just click find an event and you'll find that there. But we also make it really easy to check out. You can keep, a card on file. You can use Apple Pay and Google Pay. And on the other side, you're going to get a smaller, transaction total because our fees are way less than most of the other ticketing providers out there, which the fans should love, as do the event organizers, because it helps them sell more tickets when their fees aren't as high.
Yeah, so you mentioned that sort of model with fewer fees on the ticketing side helps these businesses, helps these agencies sell more tickets. What other benefits? You mentioned some of them for those that are consuming these tickets, but for those that are selling them, what sort of benefits does your organization and your business model have for them?
Yeah, I mean, in addition to the fees, which we feel like that is necessary, keep those as low as possible so you're selling as many tickets as possible. That's number one there. But number two is we actually have those features that we mentioned before, and that might be for a sports team. That might be season passes or bundles of multiple games or flex passes for them. It might be the ability to add concessions and merchandise to your totals there and handle all your payments in one space. And that just makes it all around easier. Instead of having 3 or 4 different vendors as an event organizer, you can just deal with one. And we're also offering them more opportunities to generate revenue. So whether that is, as I mentioned, merchandise, concessions, subscriptions, season passes, we also just released an NFT digital collectible functionality. So that's something new. Event organizers can sell digital collectibles to their fans and they can collect those, they can retrade them, resell them, all that sort of thing too.
We're joined by Alex Linebrink. She is the CEO of Passage, a cutting-edge new event ticketing company located in Detroit. More information can be found on their website, gopassage.com. That's gopassage.com. And as I said, you're based in Detroit. Your offices are on Hunt Street in the city of Detroit. What about Detroit was it that attracted you to hold your business base in the city of?
Oh, man, I love Detroit. So I'm a Michigander. I grew up in Hillsdale, Michigan, which is not the big city. It's not Metro Detroit. It's a small farm town. But, I had visited Detroit. I was a big Tigers fan growing up. So I'd come over here for some Tigers games. And when I saw there was an opportunity, there was an ecosystem for startups and for entrepreneurs in Detroit, that attracted me a lot. And I'll tell you, being here, I would not rather be, headquartered anywhere else. We have 15 full-time employees now. Most are culture in this local area. And it's just incredible. The opportunities here, the grit and hard work that people are willing to put in, the excitement that the community is able to pour in. It's incredible. It's like nowhere else in the world. And I'm just honored to be a part of such a great community here. Yeah.
Alex, there's so much competition, and when I say competition, I mean big competition in ticketing, and so many different places that people that are throwing events or holding concerts or sporting events, whatever the case may be, may go to. That's a lot. There's a lot to compete with, and there are just really a few major, large-sized companies that tend to dominate this particular side of the events and entertainment industry. Why compete with them? What drew you to this as a business and to make this your mission, especially going up against some of the giants that have dominated ticketing for decades?
Yeah, that's awesome consideration there. When I started this, I just sold a payment technology company called Core Merchant was the name that I sold it back in 2014. And when I got together with my co-founder, Patrick Mish, we were, as I mentioned earlier, we were kind of looking at what are these specialty event categories that out there, and are they actually being well serviced by the Ticketmasters, by the Eventbrites, by these other, really large tickets.com, these other really large platforms out there. And we found that even though they had a lot of good features, that either their fees were way too high, as well as I do, that on a Ticketmaster purchase, that can end up being 80% more. Sometimes you're basically doubling the ticket price just to end your checkout there, which is ridiculous. Or on the flip side, they just didn't have the features that were needed. Like, how can you be a sports team without offering season passes? That's a great example. Or offering merchandise for sale and that sort of thing. And these other platforms that we saw there just didn't have that. In addition, they were making their events, when we got into this in 2014, especially, they were making their events wait until after the event was over to get their money. They were sometimes 2 weeks after the event was over. Now, that's so weird if you're pre-selling tickets months in advance to have to wait to get that money when you as an event organizer could be using it now. So we got in for all those reasons, next day funding, 1 to 2 business days on every deposit, giving them the features they need, giving them more revenue opportunities, because if you're not selling it, your fans can't buy it. So you can't generate that revenue. And those fans might really want to support you, and giving them features they need to really make their event stand out and run it effectively.
Some of your company's partners include the Royal Oak Leprechauns baseball team, the Michigan Jaguars football club, also some of your partners. How did you establish these relationships, and how has the growth of your company maintained that momentum over the past several years, especially during the pandemic when things were very much different in the event industry? Things were simply just not happening.
Yeah, that's awesome. We are really thrilled and honored to work with so many great local companies, but also over 5,000 events a year in 48 states, which is great as well. Actually, I think we finally hit 50 last year. That I could be off on that, but either 48 or 50 states right now, and 2 other countries, Canada and Australia, we have events as well. So we've spread quite a few ways, and I think the ones locally that you mentioned there, both the Jaguars and the Stars there, that was word of mouth. They saw us working with other people locally. So sometimes it's outreach. Sometimes it's just that we do a great job with other clients and they refer us to other people. Sometimes in the world of soccer, such as the Jaguars, it's that we work with their league and create a partnership with their league that's beneficial not only to the teams, but to the league as a whole. Now, when COVID hit, that was a crazy time for everybody. In the beginning of March 2020, we had 1,000 events selling tickets, and at the end of March, we had 0. So we had to pivot. We had to change things up. I had investors who, putting the pressure on us saying, you either need to fire everybody and hibernate for a while or figure something else out. And thankfully, we got them to trust us with figuring something else out. Our investors and board are awesome. And we went full force into developing a virtual events platform. We launched that actually by April 1st of 2020, which is insanely fast to get that up and running. A week or 2 later, we were featured in Forbes as the Ticketmaster killer in the age of virtual events, which was a huge honor as well, and just kept us in the conversation for a while. So we were able to help a lot of event organizers that were scrambling to figure out how they could generate revenue, because they weren't able to play at the local bar. They weren't able to keep their venue open. They weren't able to keep performing and doing their thing. And we were able to help them switch to a virtual format for a while, which it was incredible how many people actually participated in virtual events. And then for the fall, we really focused on socially distanced event technology. So the ability to get a text message when they're ready for your group instead of standing in line, or have socially distanced assigned seating so it would leave 3 seats in between groups, that sort of thing. And a lot of those things, we were the first ones out there to it. So a lot of people jumped in and used our platform for that. And it worked out great. Even despite having a couple really rough months in 2020, we ended the year up 80%. And actually since 2019, we are currently, last year we were 3x the size. So we've grown over 3 times in a 2-year period there. And I just couldn't be more thankful for incredible team and awesome clients that are generating these ticket sales. Yeah.
We're joined by Alex Linebrink, the CEO of Passage, a new ticket event company, event ticketing company in Detroit. You say it. You try it.
Event ticketing is great. Yeah.
Yes, it's a new event ticketing company located in Detroit. Joining us on the Michigan Megacast. More information can be found on gopassage.com. That's gopassage.com to learn more about the company, as well as purchase tickets from some of the different companies and different organizations and events that they partner with as well. Gopassage.com. And you mentioned over the pandemic, helping to keep your company alive and find something new to do to maintain your business, but you also were helping to assist other small businesses and small event planners as well. Can you tell us about the special program you put on called Passage Capital and what that did to help these individuals?
Yeah, it was a rough time, obviously, the pandemic for a lot of folks. So we were fortunate enough to have some money in the bank and have some really great investors on our side of things. And they backed us in a really interesting idea. We had event organizers coming to us saying, what do we do in this meantime? And we helped them with virtual events and things like that, but it wasn't always applicable. And it wasn't always filling that gap of the revenue that they used to have. So we said, let's put together a program where we can get cash in the hands of these event organizers that need it the most. And in exchange, we'll get something out of it too. We're a for-profit company. My investors wouldn't just let us give away money. But if they're comfortable with us, they could sign a multi-year contract. So we get some revenue predictability. We're guaranteed some revenue over the length of this contract, 3-4 years. They get some cash up front. And it's turned out great. We have put out a ton of cash infusions, over $250,000 in total in the hands of small to mid-sized businesses. And we're picking up pace. So this year, we're going to put out $500,000 alone, hopefully even more than that next year. And we're putting that right into the pockets of these small to mid-sized events to do what they do best, which is to add entertainment to the lives of fans out there. And it's going awesome. And I couldn't be more proud of the work that we're doing there as well. But most of that is going towards sales and marketing. So one of the cool things that we see is that a lot of these event organizers are actually doing better after they, enter this program and receive these cash infusions than they were before, because they're able to increase the quality of their event, increase the sales and marketing. And I just love seeing that. It's awesome seeing these events grow.
Yeah, it's great to also give back to the industry that's helped to build
Absolutely.
your business as well. So we're joined by Alex Linebrink. He is the CEO of Passage, a new event ticketing company located in Detroit. You can visit their website, gopassage.com, for more information. Gopassage.com is their website. And as much as these businesses that you're helping, these event planners that you're helping, have reached big milestones with some of those cash infusions through Passage Capital, your company also reached a large milestone in terms of tickets sold fairly recently. Can you tell us about that milestone and what took you to get there?
Yeah, we just hit 6 million tickets sold, which is incredible. That was earlier this month, just a week or two ago that we hit that. That is a huge milestone. It's a nice round number. Honestly, it was something that we didn't really know was coming. We just checked the numbers earlier this year and we said, hey, there's actually a big milestone coming up and this is huge. Let's tell some people about it. Let's get the word out there. So I appreciate it. Thanks so much for bringing that up. And what did it take to get there? A lot of hard work. I mean, the first few years that we were in operation, we started back in 2014. The first few years, we were growing, but not that fast. But thankfully, as I mentioned, it's really taken off the last couple of years as we were able to help a lot of events through the pandemic and virtual and hybrid event technology and socially distanced event technology, and now our new NFT digital collectibles. And it's really ramping up. So of that 6 million tickets, we'll probably do about 2.5 million tickets this year alone, and probably 3.5 or 4 million tickets next year. So we're just picking up the pace. So hopefully not too far away from a big 10 million or something like that.
More information can be found on gopassage.com. That's gopassage.com. You can find them on almost all social media at GoPassage. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at GoPassage. On LinkedIn, if you want to connect with them, it's just Passage, keeping it professional. It's GoPassage everywhere else, and on LinkedIn, it's Passage. We're joined by Alex Linebrink, the CEO of Passage, on the Michigan Megacast. A couple more minutes with the Detroit business today before we'll let them go. Alex, anything else that people should know about your company that we haven't discussed yet today, or things that they should be keeping an eye out for? Maybe some exciting news coming up.
Well, I would say the biggest thing that we have coming up is something that I've just barely touched on here, but we just launched the ability to have digital collectibles, to let event organizers create digital collectibles. It might be of a moment of a game. It might be, a commemorative, time at a big concert, something like that. But it's going to be one of a kind. It's powered by blockchain NFT technology. And in a lot of cases, these will even let you into certain areas of special events and be tradable and resellable afterwards. There's a lot of cool stuff going on here. That is our newest feature that we've launched. We have a ton of great launch partners with that already. There's a Hollywood company by the name of Dangerous Pinups, and a soccer team by the name of the Denton Diablos, and just more coming. So we're excited to see these event organizers take part in a new way to engage and interact with their fans. So I'm just really excited to see where that goes. A lot of times we provide technology and we're surprised by the way our event organizers end up using it. So I can't wait to see how creative they are with this tech. So that's the latest thing we have coming up. And I'd say the only other thing is check out some local events. Go to gopassage.com, click find an event, see what's near you. You might be surprised, and also see what's available virtually, because you don't always have to attend in person, and you might not have time to drive someplace, but you still might be able to attend virtually to a local event. Yeah.
You can support local events, small business events, as well as support a business developed right here in Michigan by going to gopassage.com. Alex, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Really appreciate the time.